gun malfunction. What do I do?
The loudest sound you're ever going to hear in a life and death situation is click. Today we're here to talk about the 4 common malfunctions of semi-automatic handguns. There are 4 basic types of malfunctions that could happen with a semi-automatic firearm, and you need to train to clear these. We're going to work with Danielle today to show her and to show you folks how to clear these 4 common malfunctions. We're going to work through the malfunction that I set up on your gun. The first malfunction we set up is a failure to fire. And the way I did that was the fourth round in, I put an inert snap cap in your gun, which is just a plastic training bullet. Excellent tool for training. So what you did is you shot and then it loaded the inert round in, and obviously it didn't go off. So what we got to do is we got to work on clearing that out of the gun. The snap cap is in the gun, just like it was when you were finished. So the way we're going to clear this is the one the tap rack bang works excellent for.
Okay.
So, and I'm a lefty, but I'm going to demonstrate right-handed here. So she shot, bang, bang, click. Now what I want you to get in the habit of doing is inspecting, looking to see what the malfunction is, and then tap the mag. Do you know why we tap the magazine?
No, I don't.
The reason is if this magazine didn't get seated in here all the way, which is common, especially if you load your magazines completely full, if you can rack it as many times as you want. If it's not seated in the gun, it's going to malfunction again. So I like to get in the habit of this tap, and then we inspect. We see that the gun is closed properly. It's levered the shell in. Now we're going to rack it, okay? And I worked with you earlier on bringing your hand over the top to rack the slide, and then bang. So that's the tap, rack, bang method. And again, tap, rack, bang really only works for this one type of malfunction, okay? So let me show you what this is going to look like.
Okay.
And then we'll load the gun up and have you do it. So go ahead and put your eyes and ears on here. Eyes and ears, and the range is going hot. Okay, so it malfunctioned, it didn't go off. I pull the gun in and I inspect, tap, rack, bang. Okay? That's where the acronym of tap, rack, bang comes from.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and set this up for you and let you work through it.
Great.
Okay? So go ahead and load and make ready, Danielle.
Okay.
And we're going hot. Go ahead and rack that, and we're ready to go. Okay, that was good. That was good. The only thing I would probably have you do is when you do your rack and your tap, rack, bang, make sure you keep the gun in your workspace. And by workspace, I mean right here in front of you so you can see the gun and the bad guy at the same time. Other than that, it was really good.
Great.
Okay. So that was the type 1 malfunction. Now we're going to move on to what's called a stovepipe. I'm going to set up a stovepipe here in Danielle's gun. And what causes a stovepipe usually is you not gripping the gun tight. Again, what I tell people, grip the gun until you shake and then let off a little bit. You want a good grip on this gun. If you weak grip it, what can happen is the gun can recoil and it can actually catch a shell inside of here. So what a stovepipe is going to look like is I got an empty piece of brass here, and it looks like that, okay? So you're shooting the gun, bang, 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 and it somehow catches that piece of brass on the way out, okay? A tap, rack, bang here is going to get you in trouble, and let me tell you why. Tap, rack, what happened?
Yeah.
It fell down inside of there, which is going to cause a worse malfunction. So what I like to do, that's where the inspection comes in. Okay, so we've got the stovepipe. Bang, 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 click, inspect. It's obvious, we see it. Sweep that out of there. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to roll your hand over just like you did before, but you're going to sweep that piece of brass out. Okay? It should load a live round in as soon as you sweep that out. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and set up your magazine and set up a stovepipe, and I want you to go ahead and sweep that out of there. Okay, so I got my stovepipe set up, and again, I want you to bring your hand across and just sweep the brass. Don't worry about the slide, just sweep the brass.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and pretend through it. Bang, 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 click. There you go. Now you, okay, good job. When you do it, bring your hand right over top. Okay, just like that. Okay, that was good. And again, folks, you got to practice this. This has to become muscle memory, because if this happens in a life and death situation, you're going to lose your fine motor skills. You need to go back to gross motor skills. You need to go back to what you've practiced. Okay, so let's look at the failure to go into battery before we look at the worst malfunction that you can have. This gun is clean. It's going to be very hard to set up an actual failure to go into battery. But what that looks like is you've shot bang, 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 and when the gun goes to load, it doesn't go all the way forward. You have a gap here. You have a gap there. It hasn't gone into battery, okay? And that's where a tap rack bang might fix that, but that's 3 or 4 steps you didn't need to do. So what that would look like, and I'll do this right-handed for the camera, what that's going to look like is, okay, the gun hasn't gone into battery. Bang, bang, bang. I'm going to inspect the gun. I can see that gap. I'm just going to simply pound that forward and get the gun back into the fight, okay? So again, for you, it's going to be hard to set this up, so we're just going to have to pretend that it's not in battery. So what I want you to do is bang, 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 the gun didn't go off, you inspect, whack the back, bang, bang, bang.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and let's just do that with a dry gun, okay? So again, you've got your sights on target. Okay, bang, 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 it didn't go off, inspect, there you go, bang, bang, bang. And what can cause this is improper reloads. What can cause this is a dirty gun, or if your spring has gotten weak, okay? That's a pretty easy one to fix, and again, if you tap rack bang that, you just went through 3 or 4 steps you didn't need to do,
Okay.
okay? Now we're going to set up what's called a type 3 malfunction, which is the end-all be-all of malfunctions that you wouldn't want to have in a life and death situation, but you need to learn how to clear it. What I recommend is if you can possibly get behind cover, if you have this malfunction, that you do so, because this one takes more mitigation than just a tap rack bang or sweeping that shell or knocking it back into battery, okay? The way you want to set this up in a training scenario is I've got the slide lock back. I'm going to take a live round and I'm going to drop it into the chamber, okay? This malfunction is called a double feed, okay? I've got a magazine, I'm going to put it in. There's one in there already.
Okay.
I'm going to drop the slide. See what you've got? You've got a round that didn't eject, okay? That could be a live round or that could be a spent round that didn't eject. And you've got a live round right behind it trying to feed in, okay? A tap rack bang, tap rack is not going to clear that, okay? In fact, it could make that malfunction worse. So what you're going to want to do, what this is going to look like is bang, 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 the gun didn't go off, inspect, I see a double feed, okay? I have to get that magazine out of there. So what you're going to want to do, some people and their guns, depending on the gun, can rip that magazine out, okay? But if this bullet pushed forward, it might lock in there, okay? So it depends on the gun, it depends on you. You may be able to physically rip that magazine out, you may not. So what I want people to train is to actually lock the slide back, okay? Now I'm going to pull the magazine out, get that out of there by doing a rack, rack, rack. Why do I rack it 3 times?
I don't know.
Okay. In the daylight, if you rack it once and it comes out, but if it's nighttime, you may not see that bullet come out. So kick the mag out, rack, 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 and now I've just ripped my magazine out. What am I going to use? I better have another magazine. Or if you don't, you better keep a hold of this, okay? So this is why I tell people always carry an extra magazine, because if you don't have it, you're in trouble. Okay, Danielle, I've set up a double feed for you. So I'm going to have you clear it. Do you have any questions?
I just want to go over kind of the procedure.
Okay.
So I have this. I want to lock,
Yep,
eject my mag,
yep.
fresh mag, get that in there, and then rack. Oh wait, Do I want to do the rack 3
Yep.
times?
As soon as you
before?
eject that magazine, I want to see rack, rack, rack.
Okay.
That's in case it didn't get that spent round up. Okay?
So just to be cautious.
Yep. And again, we rack, rack, rack in case it's nighttime and we can't see it. Okay. So let's just wrap up and review these. Okay. We had the type 1 malfunction, which a failure to fire, which the tap, rack, bang cleared no problem. So you were bang, 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 click, inspect, tap, rack, bang. Okay. We had the stovepipe, which had the shell up top. We inspected, we swept the shell back into the fight. We had the failure to go back into battery. The gun didn't go forward. You inspect it, you see that, you slam that forward back into the fight. And then we had the worst malfunction of all, which is that type 3, where we actually had to lock the slide back, remove the magazine, rack, 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 fresh magazine, back into the fight. Okay, so it's a lot to cover in just one session. It's something you need to practice. But I do recommend if you go out on the range and you shoot, bring these inert snap caps, put them in your magazines, and practice your malfunctions. Okay, because it's only going to come with muscle memory. It's only going to come with repetition over and over and over to learn that. Okay.
Okay.
So you did a great job.
Thank you.
It's a lot. Again, it's a lot to cover. So, but thank you.
Well, thank you for teaching me.
You're very welcome. Thanks for joining Danielle and I on our video of the 4 common malfunctions of semi-automatic handguns.
Check us out at nationalgunrights.org and on our Facebook page. Join us in the fight to defend your Second Amendment rights.